Another breakfast in bed, so-called, as the battery's running down. We have our marmalade and toast, tea, and slight comment on the approaching renovation as we get ready to do something down here. We did notice in the Times yesterday this guy had done something which I thought we might be thinking about doing, which is, just this with the raw space. This is his dining room, and it looks pretty funky. I like the ceiling, though. No one likes the ceiling. Of course, he does have his apartment and other rooms. In any event, we won't be having a 1,300-pound stove. So it would be nice to configure something that is sort of personal and not new, which I'm afraid we're going to get something new. And now all this is being done in preparation for Owen's moving down here, which he's announced will be Sunday in time for the Super Bowl and his Super Bowl party down here. So I think he wants a lot of space for that. That means I'll be in the shed. Guess I'll have to get that ready. I actually kind of do like this rough and ready look, Photographing these abstractions and saying they're art, you could live with them. It'd be kind of interesting. In any event, construction goes unabated here in Red Hook. I guess our neighbors are putting in a new concrete something or other. Well, I'm trying to come to the end of this photo restoration thing. I certainly have plenty of stuff, but we're not quite done yet. In fact, in the course of rounding up, we were just taking every loose photograph and throwing it in here, and actually there were a few interesting ones. There's Pete Parsons. There is Parsons. There's Antioch. There's the old club pool before they built the new one. It was fun when they had the gate in the middle. And there I am getting ready with the Hauser boys. I think that was our trip to Michigan, 66. And there's Chris. And there's Chris again. We're looking pretty sharp. And there's old Prince, my dog. More. I think this is Eric or Chris in Michigan. And Doug. Here we are walking across campus. And there was a nice picture of somebody I wanted to see. Won't be able to find it. Oh yeah, it's way back here. There it is. There it is. Mary Shartle was Really something. Her whole family was. I mean, years of... Believe it or not, that's Mary there. What a great smile. And again, actually with a new chapter, restoring photos, actually this time of New York Harbor. Another chapter. And I guess we'll just have to sort of get to that. This one's kind of interesting. It's sort of Greek motif on this enameled steel garage, which is near work. A photograph like this, you actually have to spend some time. You know, you got this glare, and you have to say, well, what the heck is it? And with something like this, you know, the imagination can run wild. I mean, it could be a shadow of a lighthouse or on the ocean. Not likely. It's probably just some pier post. Whereas, you know, a photograph like this is pretty straightforward. It's divided. You know, if you care to look for it, you can see light, and you see a pier, and you see a geometric division of spacing. That's about it. I mean, you could look here, and which is how you're supposed to look at this photograph, horizontally, even though it's a vertical, and you know, there is information, but at that scale, it's diffused. It's not a good photograph, even though it looks like it's handsomely set up. Anyway, these photographs of piers in New York, I mean, they're still there, and they evoke, you know, the river, and the river's still there, even though the Esplanade's been modernized and made nice for everybody who kind of like lives here now. Whereas it, you know, I mean, I used to go down there and take pictures. It was picture provoking. I think the real story of working in the harbor is kind of probably a rough life. That's New Jersey, across the Hudson from West 57th Street. There's some turgid water off the pier. It's hard to determine what the real attraction is. An understanding. I can't articulate it. I'll have to think about that. How long does a person live? And how long does a photograph live? Miriam. I think that pier sequence on West 57th Street is a perfect segue to my abandoned ferry photographs that were sort of just like stored over Staten Island. These ferries, they're deteriorating, and I sort of go out, pad on my bike over there on the weekend and take photographs. There'll be more later, but they were kind of abandoned. And attractive. And when I saw this photograph, I really like this one because it's both the old and the new together. You know, you got a regular tugboat there pulling a crane, and ferry boat is sort of, it's not even moored. Maybe it's pulling the ferry boat in, come to think of it. Huh. But I suppose that's what New York has to offer. I mean, the old, you know, up against the new, hopefully the new. Always the new. Actually, this tugboat looks pretty derelict itself. As so I don't remember if it was pulling anything or was it self-moored there. Most likely the latter. I mean, what's interesting about these shots is you used to go down to the waterfront and just sort of get on these boats. Yeah, I used to just go down to West 47th Street. I got on the USS, the HMS Queen Elizabeth I until they had a bomb scare in the middle of the night, and then they started to cordon off the docks. Not quite, but I have films of that.
William Grant Still,
and hopefully we'll see them someday.
American classical music, early African American figures in classical music.
If we can dig out anything from this sort of rescued bunch of stuff,
African American to conduct a major
see what
symphony
it
orchestra.
contains.
Took the
have to have a show
of the Los Angeles Philharmonic for a role in his life.
That's and as in Staten Island.
105.9 FM. It's 9:36.
A repair yard just full of brass propellers.
Presenting the New York premiere of its
Propellers? Yeah, they propel.
Featuring 60 dancers, Silk Road tells the story of a friendship forged during the Tang Dynasty between China and the people of various countries along the Silk Road. Musical.
Here we are, photographing a photograph.
February 9th at the New Jersey Performing Arts
There's a way of
Center.
showing it.
Enter to and follow the instructions.
You know, I may make these photographs into a book. I mean, after dealing with this show and thinking about public exhibition, it seems to get away from what art is, which is sort of a personal thing. I mean, you have shows, you show your art. The art shares you with patrons and purchasers. But for the artist, the real meaning is the involvement and interest in what they're, well, in this case, taking pictures of, and the sort of emotional reaction we have to exploring these things. New York, 1970. Great photograph. Great photograph. That'd be the pilot's navigator station on the ferry boat. Funnel. Great piece of music. I wish we could get that piano rendition again. Wait for it. What was nice is you had access to the entire boat, you know. You could run up on top, take pictures of the funnel. See the captain's deck. Normally you can't go into these places. This is navigation. There's a certain freedom in dereliction. Oh, you wonder what this space will provide Owen, you know, certain freedom. This is Carl on a hike with Colleen. We went up there for his Cornell graduation in forestry, which he uses today.